Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Torrence and today I am going to be doing a very interesting video. I wanted to participate in a tag that was created by Annette's Makeup Corner called If I Could Only Keep 10 Eyeshadow Palettes. The moment I saw this video tag, I immediately thought, you know what, this is going to be easy. I know exactly which 10 palettes I'm going to keep, no doubt about it. My favorite eyeshadow colors are green and black. Let's go ahead, grab all of those palettes, put them to the side, do this video. Then I realized you can't make a whole YouTube channel on just blacks and greens. So I had to start thinking about it. Do I want to do this more geared toward my personal taste or more towards what would be good for a YouTube channel? And ultimately I decided to mix both of them and see which 10 I could come up with. And this was a lot harder than I thought it was. I promise you, when everybody keeps saying this is not an easy 10 picks, it truly isn't. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you which 10 palettes I chose. If you are interested in the look that I am wearing today, I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link right here for that video for the McGrath Mothership 1 palette for this look here. Go ahead and give you a quick peep of that. Yes, feeling myself, yes I am. But I'm going to make sure that I also leave Annette's channel in the description bar below. As well, I'm going to tag her video at the end of this one so that you can watch it right after you watch this one. But if you're interested in which palettes I would keep, if I could only keep 10, go ahead and keep watching and we'll get started. First up. YouTube channel or not, I have to be happy in my personal life. So with my favorite eyeshadow color being green, my very first palette is going to be this bad baby here. To Give Me Glow Juicy Olive. This is the palette I go to when I just want to be beaming. When I want to do greens and I don't want any fuss, any stuff. I don't want a transition color, I don't want a black, I don't want anything but to look like a Ninja Turtle. This is when I come out for this palette and I absolutely love it. And with me not having to do any makeup today for this video, we can go ahead and give you swatches of these colors. And when I tell you, pigmented, blendable, long-lasting, it's just, I don't see why. There is no way possible that I could have a top 10. I mean, not a top 10. There's no way you're going to tell me I can only keep 10 eyeshadow palettes. And I don't bring this with me. Because no matter how many shades I have, I'm always going to want to see what these greens are doing. But I'm going to go ahead and give you swatches of the Give Me Glow palette. I'm going to swatch all 4 mattes and then one of the shimmers. Please excuse these swatches because I'm not too familiar with how to do them on camera. Let me pull this one here. I'm going to go ahead and show you what these 5 look like. And I absolutely love this palette. This is just a shimmer lover's dream. Not a shimmer. This is a green lover's dream palette. Okay. For our number 2 pick, I knew I wanted to pick something that had some neutrals in it, but with me still being a green lover, I wanted to have a little bit of that as well. So for my number 2 pick, I decided to go with the Natasha Denona Gold palette. This palette here has 15 shades, and although it looks extremely colorful, bold, bright, and vivid, most of these colors in here truly are neutral. If you were to go ahead and just even cover just 2, not even all 3 of the shades, just cover this, you instantly realize that's neutral with a pop of blue. Or even if you just cover these 2. Suddenly you see just how neutral this is. And for an everyday look, I would always want some neutral matte shades as well as some shimmer shades here. But it also gives me the chance to play with my greens if I like. So this was the palette I definitely had to take. I picked this palette more so for the shimmers than I did the mattes. Because as you can see with the mattes, there isn't a lot of variety. But with the shimmer shades, I can go dark with a shade like this. I can go bright with a shade like this. Pop a color here, dual chrome, light. It's just, it offers so much, and I believe this color story here would offer a lot to my collection, not only for YouTube, but my personal use. I want to go ahead and give you swatches of 5 different shades just to show you the variety that this palette can offer. Let me see which other ones. You'll see how you can go neutral or get a pop of color with this look here. And I want to make sure. All right, here we go. Let me get this one. I don't know. I may have to pull it down here for the last one. But you can see how, even though that's 5 shades there, it's a total variety. Duochrome, light, neutrals, pop of color. I absolutely love the formula, and having this in my collection would make sure that I have plenty of textures and colors to play with. For my third palette, I wanted to make sure that I also picked some more neutral shades, but I didn't want to pick any that were really metallic, really sparkly and shimmery like the Natasha Denona and the Give Me Glow were. Just in case for any reason I wanted to do something very professional or do some freelance work on someone else who may not like shimmer and sparkle. So for my third palette, I went ahead and picked the Anastasia Beverly Hills Master Palette by Mario. I absolutely love this palette. It is simple, it is to the point, it is easy to work with, and not only do you get a bunch of neutral shades that I feel as if are just almost impossible to mess up, you still get this pop of green and this pop of blue here. So with the green being there, that's gonna satisfy me. The blue being there will help create some cool tone looks. But I like this formula because there aren't any large chunks of glitter or anything like that. They're just beautiful shimmer shades that can be worn any day, anywhere, on any skin tone or texture. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick up the first 5 colors, give you swatches of those, just so you can see what these colors look like. And I've worn this palette on many occasions for events, whether it be something special like a wedding. I've unfortunately even worn this to an event that didn't turn out to be so happy and special, but my makeup was fabulous. And as you can see with that there, just some nice, beautiful shimmer shades here. Neutrals, they look like they have some nice rosy warm tones in there, but I absolutely love it. And this is perfect for any and everyday wear. For palette number 4, I wanted to make sure I got some more mattes into my collection, because for the first 3 palettes, I was more worried about shimmers because I absolutely love sparkle on the eye. But you can't do every look and all looks with just shimmer shades. So in order to make sure I did not have to worry about any mattes, I had to grab one of my favorite palettes using my favorite matte formula. We're going to go with the Viseart Grande Pro Volume 1 palette. I depotted mine and put it in this custom Z palette, and as you can see, this just basically covers the basics. It's just hard to see what else you would need on a neutral day besides this palette. You have shades as bright as white, as dark as a black. You have transition shades for any skin tone, crease shades, outer V shades. This row here is a very pigmented row which can add extra dimension and hue to any of these other shades around it. So for neutrals, there was no other need but to grab this one palette here. This will have me covered for any and everyday wear as far as neutral goes. And with Viseart being my absolute favorite formula, I had to grab it. And so I want to swatch the 5 pigmented shades that you can use to help build and blend up other colors. Because like I said, it comes with all the transition shades and everything you need. But just in case you're someone who has a deeper melanated skin tone, or if you just want a more dramatic look, this palette will be able to provide that for you. I'm going to go ahead and swatch these 5 here. And when I tell you, smooth, buttery, pigmented. And I'm going to have to bring my thumb down for this 5th shade. Now look at that. Look at the colors on that. Look at the swatches. Like, Viseart doesn't play. And so I had to use that for palette number 4 because just in case we never get another shadow again, we wanted to make sure we had our mattes covered. Okay, for palette number 5, I wanted to jump right back into shimmers because I absolutely love them, and I figured I had most of my neutrals and my mattes covered with the Grande Pro for number 4. So for number 5, I'm going to go with Mother McGrath, the Mothership number 4 palette. I know this palette was limited edition, but the colors in here are absolutely stunning. These have shades that I can hardly find anywhere else. I have colors that may be very similar, but nothing that's quite exact. And although I absolutely love greens, this doesn't have an exact green. This has like a tealish color here, a nice yellow gold, and a nice dark blue. So it allows me to mix and blend and create a shade of green that I like. And it also, of course, you have your neutrals here, you have that gold here, you have taupes. So to me, this all shimmer palette is the perfect companion for my Viseart Grande Pro. And I want to go ahead and get you 5 colors here. And funny enough, I don't think I've ever even swatched this palette. I'm looking at it now, like, I think I may have only swatched this one shade here. And the way that it looks on camera, I promise you, is not the same way it looks in person. I am seeing a dual chrome effect, so I have to swatch that one. So let me see, which 5 do we want to go after? Haven't grabbed a silver recently. Try to avoid the greens because we all know I love greens. And when I tell you, Pat McGrath's formula is so buttery, so high foil, so blendable. Look at this. Bam. Oh my. Look at the way that, oh. It's not even fair how she played with our feelings like that. Now this shade here has a dual chrome flip. I'm not sure if you're catching it. It looks sort of gold in one light, sort of warm orangish reddish color in another. It's absolutely stunning. And I'm gonna take and put this last shade at the bottom. Look at that there. There's no way you can go wrong when you support Mother. Nobody loves you like Mother, and nobody loves Mother like me. I love Pat McGrath. Her formula, her techniques, her work, and the inspiration over the years. Come on now, you can't beat it. And so that is going to be my pick for number 5. For palette number 6, I wanted to go back in and get some more green shimmers because although I did have some greens in the Juicy Olive palette, wasn't enough to satisfy my personal needs and wants. So for palette number 6, I'm gonna go in with the Melt Cosmetics Smoke Sessions palette. This palette here is gonna be sort of like the Pat McGrath, except we have 2 matte shades here. But this is a mostly all shimmer palette with just a few mattes. And all of these mattes, even though one side looks green and one side looks neutral, they all tend to have a slight greenish hue to it or a grungy look to it. And that is one of the reasons why I absolutely love this palette. Let's see if I can get you all. And this palette is absolutely stunning. Whether you want to go greens like I normally would or go neutrals, high foil, high pigmentation, absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna get you some swatches of these and I'm gonna make sure I do all 4 of the neutrals and then just 1 of the greens. And this will be perfect whether you like neutrals like I do or you wanna go all above or if you wanna go above and beyond. Look at that. And you can see how even though this is considered the neutral side, it still has a very green undertone to it, which I absolutely love. And those are absolutely stunning. I love the Melt Cosmetic formula. For palette number 7, I wanted to make sure I added some shades for the lid that had some floating glitter or sparkle to it. I'm a huge fan of glitters, but normally I'm not a big fan of pressed ones. So for the next palette, I wanted to make sure I grabbed something that had beautiful mattes and shimmers, but made sure that I could get the glitter rush that I was hoping for. And that is why for number 7, my palette is going to be the Dose of Colors Friendication palette. This bad baby took the world by storm because it looks like the most basic, most neutral thing going with a pop of blue. But when I tell you, the shimmers in this palette are absolutely stunning. The mattes are pigmented, they're blendable, they last all day, but they are truly overshadowed by the shimmers in this palette. And I love it so much that this is actually an untouched backup of this palette because I originally took it and depotted and put it into this palette here. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab swatches of these here because this one is already used. I put it in this palette here and it's the Dose of Colors are right here. And I'm gonna make sure I get swatches of those 5 shimmer shades just so you can see how full and pigmented those are. Okay, and I want to make sure you get to see all of this here. One of my favorite shadows of all time is Just a Kiss from Dose of Colors. And this blue type purple shade, oh my baby. Look at that. Tell me those are not stunning. Those are absolutely fabulous. And to me, it's the absolute best shimmer formula I've ever seen from Dose of Color. Why they will not make this particular formula permanent, I have no idea. They sell single shadows, they sell palettes, but when I'm telling you, everybody loves this shimmer formula and these are the ones they need to have in the individual pans. Okay, for palette number 8, this is probably going to be the palette that describes me as a person the absolute most. If every person on the planet had to describe themselves as an eyeshadow palette, you would be able to describe me as my number 8 pick, which is the Melt Cosmetics, boom, Gemini palette. The love is real. The love for this palette is real. When I tell you I got it on the very first launch because there was no way I was going to miss it, this palette just says my life as a whole. Sometime we're neutral, sometime we're wild with color. You got a matte black to deepen up anything. You can truly just use all mattes on this side. You don't even have to use the shimmer. You can use all greens and go crazy or go without the shimmer, or you can add that black and go as deep, dark, crazy as you want to go. I love it. 8 mattes, 2 shimmers. The ratio to this, I wanted to make a makeup award just to pass it out to them, but I don't have one. But I promise you, every website that sells this bad baby, I'm going on it. I'm giving them a 5-star review. Every time I see Lorelai in person, I'm going to let her know, y'all did that. Y'all did that. I got to show you some of these colors. I want to get both the shimmers and get some of these pigmented neutrals on this side and a pop of green off this side, just so you can see that. But when I tell you, this palette here, I'm never going to be without it. I don't care how many times I have to repurchase it over my lifetime. As long as it's being sold, I will be getting me one. Let me get this down here. Look at that. Look at that. That is a warm tone dream right there. You just can't go wrong with this palette. Number 8, I needed it just because it allowed me to do either one. If I could only keep one palette out of these 10, every time she'll be up for debate because she's up there. She in a league of her own. I love the Gemini palette, honey. If you have not tried it yet, please get you one. Head to your local Sephora and grab you one. You need this palette in your life. For palette number 9, I started to look and realize I have a whole lot of things going on. I basically have green mattes, green shimmers covered. I have my neutrals covered. And I started thinking about it. If you're going to be doing YouTube, you have to make sure you also satisfy the other people. Plain neutrals, greens have me covered and have most people. But when I think of what one makeup color always draws attention toward me, always stops everyone in their tracks, and you just can't go wrong with it. It's just the one color you know for sure will bring you your views, bring you attention. And for me, even though I hate to admit it, it's the color purple. Purple always draws attention, so for my number 9 palette, there could be no other than the It's My Pleasure palette by ColourPop. This little gemstone here showed up in my life, and I had no idea I was gonna like it so much. 9 simple colors, but when I tell you, for the price at full retail being $12, but normally you can get a sale, you can't beat it. I had plenty of matte purples with my Grande Pro Volume 1 and a couple pops of colors for shimmer shades, but I put this palette in here because I wanted to make sure out of any and all purple palettes I have that I had a different variety, as we can see, as well as different textures. So I'm going to go ahead and see, I'm going to swatch all 5 shimmer shades just to show you that with that Grande Pro for all purples and neutrals, plus this, my purple needs are all met. And I don't have to worry about whether I can get something going, whether somebody's gonna like a certain look, because I know these shades are gonna show out and show up every time. Pale purples, deep purples. Oh, look at that. Come on now. Look at the floating glitters and stuff like that. Like, baby, that is a purple dream. I had to include this in here just to make sure, even if it's not my own personal taste, I'm able to satisfy any and everyone, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be freelance. I wanted to make sure I had my color stories covered. And with that palette there, I knew for sure I was going to have my purple done. And for our very last palette, this one to me was probably the very first palette I put on the list, but the last one I showed because for me, it is my Holy Grail eyeshadow palette. There's no doubt about it that I generally prefer colorful shadows over neutral shadows. And so when I thought about what am I going to add to my collection that I can never be without, it's definitely this palette. And that is going to be the Viseart Grande Pro Volume 3. She is so beautiful. Grande Pro Volume 1 has all the neutral shades I'm ever going to need. But when it comes to colors, baby, she's not messing with her. This is how you're going to keep me happy. A rainbow palette that has blues, cool tone greens, warm tone greens, reds and pinks, oranges, and a variety of yellows. They playing with my blood pressure. My heart goes up every time I look at this thing. It is stunning. It is beautiful. It is my second one because I've accidentally broken and dropped another one and couldn't revive it. And I had no problem with replacing it. I knew I needed it. I knew I wanted it. I had to have it. This here to me is how you do a rainbow palette. It is stunning. It satisfied my greens. There's no need to add the purples and pinks to this because they're in the volume 1. So giving me 2 rows of greens, a whole row of yellows. Honey, I just want to tell Viseart thank you for this because I promise you, after the way they broke my heart with the Theory Absinthe palette where it barely had any greens, I was too hurt behind that. But this one here made up for it. Baby, it made me feel like you really didn't forget our anniversary, honey. You was just surprising me the next day. Need I say more? You see why Viseart is my favorite matte formula? Do you see the tonal variety in this? Do you see that red? Look at... I'm done. I've shown y'all my 10. I want to truly take this makeup off and play with this. But we got to wash these swatches off, disinfect these palettes. And I truly hope you all enjoyed this video, because picking these 10 palettes, when I sit down and look at which 10 I have, the amount of looks I can do, I am truly comfortable that I could go on with just these 10. And although I would be hurt that I don't have my other palettes, I don't believe there's any look that I would want to create that I couldn't do. So if you all are going to participate in this look, please give Annette a check out on her channel. I'm going to make sure I leave that link down in the description bar below, as well as at the end of this video. Please let me know which of my 10 palettes would you have put in yours and which ones you actually would like to see a review on. Go ahead and leave a comment down below letting me know how you felt about this video or other video ideas you would like to see. Continue to practice, stay blessed, and if nothing else, bye YouTube. Wait. Bye YouTube.